right, hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to Monarch High School. It's just a little behind after 6 o'clock. We will transition our award-winning jazz band under the direction of Chuck Stevens. Let's give him a round of applause one more time. Yep. If you want to hear more jazz band, our jazz bands are actually performing tomorrow night here. Always come and listen to some great music. It's always fantastic. And then next week, we have our full band, our choir, and our orchestra is all performing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. So feel free to come and listen to some wonderful wintertime and celebratory music as well, because we get to do that now, and it's awesome. And speaking of which, thanks for being here. My name is Neil Anderson. I'm the proud principal here at Monarch High School. You'll hear a little bit more from me in a few minutes. But at this time, I'd like to introduce our choir under the direction of Miss Klotz, and they will be performing the national anthem. So if you are so inclined, we'd ask you to stand as they're taking the stage for their rendition of our national anthem. Thank you. Again, good evening. Make your way in. Thank you for spreading out and joining us this evening. Again, I'm Neil Anderson, the proud principal here at Monarch High School. This is my 5th year at Monarch. Next year will be my 6th, and it has been fantastic throughout. I want to start with a few introductions of members of my team, which you'll be able to see tonight. And if you see any of us and you have questions, I want you to feel free to ask. But we also want you to ask any of the teachers that are in our hallways, in our post-grad center, and throughout the school, including the students that are here. Sometimes you get to ask a question of a student and you get to hear a very student perspective, and that is the most valuable perspective on this night. But also it's important to hear from our adults and our teachers about the great things that are happening in our classrooms and throughout our school. So my introductions are going to start with 3 of my colleagues in the administration area, and that is first, Mr. Gustafson. Mr. Eric Gustafson is our athletic director and assistant principal. If you are an athlete or interested in our athletic programs or extracurriculars, there will be sessions in the main gym where you will hear from him and be able to ask some questions and interact with some of our coaches. The next to Mr. Gustafson is Ms. Hubbard. Ms. Hubbard is going to be in the post-grad center, working with and answering questions for our interventions, our support programs, and the whatnot. And then next to Ms. Hubbard is Mr. Paddington. He is one of our assistant principals as well. And he will be around throughout the school answering questions, providing guidance, and providing direction if needed. So those 3 plus any of the Monarch staff members are here and are welcome to and are willing to answer any questions you might have. All right, so our agenda for at least my time is going to be hearing from me and some students, current and former, for about roughly 45 minutes. And then we have 3 sessions. We have session 1, 2, and 3. In your packet, you should have information about what's happening in each one of those sessions. Session 1 follows this, and that will be not only in here, but we also have sessions in our library, in our one of our classrooms, in our black box theater as well. And you also are free to walk around and talk to our teachers like a curriculum fair as well. In here will be our music programs for session 1. So if you are in band, choir, or orchestra, you're encouraged to stay here, and you'll get to interact and hear from our directors and our students and things like that. Session 2 in here is our theater program. We're one of only 2 high schools that offer theater classes, and we're proud of that fact, and we put on theater productions throughout the course of the year. I'll be talking about that in a little bit, but if you are somebody that's into theater and you want to learn more, hey, come back here for session 2. You'll be able to hear from Miss Lucas Doctor and some of our other students as well that are in our theater program. And then session 3 is just open general throughout the school, up in our library, hearing about our academic programs can be found in session 1, 2, and 3. So that's a little bit about the structure for tonight. I want to start by introductions of some students. I always want to start with students because I think this is a great way to frame up the conversation that I'm going to have with you after this point. But I also want to start by saying we are here to talk and celebrate the excellent work that we believe we do each and every single day for our students in the engagement that we have with our parents. We are looking forward to the next 4 years because we all experienced what was the last year, but we are excited for where we're going. And so we're going to be talking about today about where we're going as a high school, what we provide as a high school for experience, for learning, for the social side of things. And then we're going to let you have that also, that same experience with our teachers and our students throughout the hallways here this evening. All right? So at this time, I'd like to introduce to you our 2 co-presidents representing our student body, and that is Kieran Singh and Trinity Jones. I'm going to ask them a few questions. I'm going to give them the mic, and they're going to share their thoughts with you, again, from a student's perspective. So my questions to these 2 are, if you were sitting in the audience looking back 4 years, what now, as a senior, would you want to know, Kieran, about classes, about the community, about the environment? And Trinity, what would you want to share about the same thing as a now going to be graduating seniors, looking back as your prospective students with your parents and so on and so forth? So I'll hand you the mic. I'll let you 2 take it from there.
Great. Well, first of all, I appreciate everybody making their way out here. We're glad to see so many faces. One of the things that I think is so great about my past 4 years at Monarch has been the opportunity that I've received in the classroom. Obviously, I work with Mr. Anderson a lot as the student body president, but understanding the opportunities that I have, understanding who I can go to, my teachers, counselors. There's just so much help at Monarch, and I really feel like that's an important part of the Monarch community.
Yes, I agree with Kieran, and also just if I was sitting in the places you guys are now, going to be freshmen, I would say to really get out there and join as many activities and programs as you can, because Monarch is such a huge community and you have so many opportunities. And I would say just really get out there. Everyone's caring, make bonds. Really special.
All right, I'm going to put them on the spot. When you look back on your 4 years, name 3 things that stand out to you as highlights of your experiences. Now, granted, you started 4 years ago. You've gone through the pandemic time, and now you're back as seniors leading the student body and the school. And so what are 3 things that stood out to you in your 4 years that you want to share?
Well, as a football player, obviously football games stand out. We get hundreds of kids that come out to every game. That is a huge event at Monarch. One of the things that actually was something that I enjoyed about coming back from COVID was seeing my teachers, seeing everybody that was a huge positive for me, being in the learning environment again. And this year, one of the most positive things that I think I've experienced is that we had our biggest homecoming by double the amount of the past record. So we're getting an increase in the student body. Everybody's getting more involved, and I really, really enjoy it.
Yes, I would say three things that really stand out would be like student sections and our spirit here and how many people participate and how it's such a big thing. The environment here, it's so loving and caring, and all the bonds I have with teachers and how they help you grow for your future, and obviously like homecoming and dances and being a part of leading it and also putting it on and just getting to experience all of it.
That's awesome, thank you. So you heard a lot about the environment, the family that gets created here, the relationships with teachers, and the bonds between students. But I'll also say these two are excellent students. I often see them sitting down in our various study nooks or in the student center, knocking out the academics, so they feel they can be grounded not only now, but in their future, and that they can participate in athletics, extracurriculars, and the social side of things that I think really make a high school special and unique, particularly here at Monarch. So great job to you both. Congratulations on 4 great years. It's been awesome working with you, and I look forward to see how you finish and where you're going from here. All right, thanks guys. All right, and then I'd like to introduce alumni who graduated from us last year. I also got to work and see this young man grow over his 4 years, not only as a student, but as a leader and as an athlete. So I'd like to introduce Noah Hubbard to you. So Noah, I have a question for you. Now knowing where you're at and what you are pursuing, when you look back into your experience at Monarch, what happened here that prepared you for where you are now and where you're going?
Hi, I'm Noah. You guys, a very nice introduction to me. I'm not deserving of all those compliments. But first of all, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out. I know for the students sitting in the seats that this is a very important decision for you guys, right? It's a little nerve-wracking. You have a lot of great options in the area. But I want to rest your nerves really quickly and just say that any school in this area is a great school. So you have no worries, no anxiety about choosing a wrong school. You will end up at a great school if you're in Boulder Valley. We're all awesome. So I want to say that first of all. But there's obviously a reason why Monarch is a little extra special, and it's not just because Neil works here. It's not just because of the great students. But there's a lot of opportunities that you can do that will set yourself up for the 4 years after these next 4 years. Which, sitting in those seats right now, I know when I was in 8th grade, I did not care much about college in the sense that it seemed like it was really far away. But what I can tell you right now is it's never too early to start planning. And I know that's scary, and I know the parents are probably like, yeah, you're not going to college soon, like, don't even put that in my mind. But what I can tell you is that the best thing that happened at Monarch for me was the work that I did to prepare myself for college. Now you're going to hear all about tonight about all these academic opportunities that you have, whether it's AP, whether it's See You Succeed, whether it's just advanced classes. And what I would urge you to do is really listen and make sure that you're taking in those opportunities, because something that I did is I took a lot of advanced placement classes. I also took a lot of See You Succeed classes. I went into college as a second semester sophomore. So if you're doing the math, parents, if you're going out of state, that's saving you $50,000. That's a lot of money. And it's also, when you're going to college, you're not going into your first college class. You're going into your 7th, 8th college class. So that was extremely helpful. And the best thing is when you're doing it at the high school level, they're teaching you how these great study habits. They're teaching you time management. They're teaching you how to stay organized. So you learn all these all these special skills that you can collect and account for in a safe environment where there's not the pressure of each credit having a monetary value to it. And you're able to actually sit down, learn the concepts so that when you go into college, it's not as overwhelming. And so what I think the best attribute of Monarch was, academically for me, was the fact is that when I went to CU, I felt over-prepared for my classes, which is crazy, because everyone talks about how hard college is. If you really take in the skills that you learn at Monarch High School, and of course the other schools do it too, but specifically Monarch High School, you will be more than prepared for college. And so my advice for you guys is to look at each school and see how they're going to prepare you for the 4 years after these 4 years. And that being said, I did have fun in high school. I promise I was not just a guy that put my head in the books 24/7. There's great extracurriculars. I played on the soccer team. Were we good? Not really. We're good now, and we're not going to say there's a correlation between my senior year, us going 0-14, and then that'd be actually good next year. We're not going to mention that. I played football. Was I as good as Kieran? Probably not. Let's be real. I played for 1 year, and I got the opportunity to continue that. So I'm playing football at CU now, which is something that I never believed was possible. So athletically, socially, academically, Monarch was the best thing that could happen to me because it prepared me and made the transition in college easy as can be. Is that good?
I should just have him do this. One thing you didn't talk about is leadership, and we were just talking about it beforehand, and I'd love you to share just a little bit about the leadership role that you've taken at CU, because I think that really emulates who you are, but also the leadership experiences you have here to prepare you to take on that role.
Yeah, so I was in a lot of different leadership opportunities at Monarch High School. I'm going to start with that because I feel like that really builds the foundation for what I do at CU. I'm going to list a few. I was the captain of my soccer team. So I played kicker punter. So when I say I'm a football player, like take that super softly. Like I was kicker punter. So I didn't get the honor of being a captain there. But I was also the senior senate president, which if you go to Monarch, you'll find more about. Great opportunity. I was also in a bunch of different kind of committees and stuff that helped kind of the culture at Monarch High School. So at CU, I've had the privilege of becoming a founding father of a fraternity, which I know is kind of cheesy, to say the least. But what my role is at Monarch High School, and specifically my fraternity, is it's dealing with women's health and making sure that they have a safe environment at school. So some of the programs that we're like starting to promote is like safe drives, so that when they're on the hill and they need someone to drive them, we have guys in our fraternity that will go give them a ride, no charge, don't have to pay for an Uber, don't have to worry about any driving under the influence, none of that. So we're going to make sure that they get home safe. Also, I'm also a representative for the IFC now, which is an Interfraternity Council. So this is my first year, and so I'm actually going to be the advocate for women's safety on that as well. And so a big thing that's kind of come into our culture is more like exposing kind of the ugly truths about a lot of what happens in college and also sometimes in high school. And obviously that's something that is not promoted at all in Boulder County and is really trying to like prevent that from happening in the future. And it's something that I feel really strongly about. And so my time at Monarch has built me up to the point where I feel confident enough to take advantage of these opportunities and things that I feel really strongly about, that I feel confident enough to actually make change and advocate for those issues. And so I was able to start something that hasn't been done nationally. And I've started a position that hasn't been done at any other fraternity, any other chapter. And so even though it sounds cheesy now, I get it, but like it's a serious issue that I felt really strongly about, and the foundation of the respect and advocating for people in need and all that stuff has started here. And so that's, if you want your kid to go to a school where they're going to feel safe every day, where they're going to feel like if they have issues that they're able to talk to someone about it, if they have something that they feel strongly about that they want to promote, like social change and stuff, I can tell you Monarch is one of the best places to do that because they really promote and foster that and advocate for your students to promote that themselves and to create that change. So the foundation that was built here, I was able to kind of connect really quickly, and I've only been on campus for a semester, and I've already been trying to do things that promote and build a better community at CU Boulder. So that was kind of a little bit of what I've done. I have some other leadership stuff, but I think that's the one we're talking about, right?
All right, thanks, Noah. That's awesome. Give him a hand. All right, in theory, I could give those three this mic and let them do this whole presentation. but I feel like I need to talk through some of this, and you'll hear some themes that not only Kieran and Trinity, but also Noah spoke about, because that's what we do. We prepare students for their future by giving them the skills now. So often you look at our school or high schools, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so big. How big? We're just over 1,500 students, and so yeah, you're like, that is big, but it's actually a perfect size. And I say that because it gives us the ability to offer a whole host of electives and pathways and academic and extracurricular opportunities. And it gives us the ability to focus in and really know our students. I would argue every single student at this school knows who I am, and almost every one of them knows my first name, but they can't call me by my first name until they earn that ability to call me by my first name, and they earn it by just being great students, being great individuals, being inclusive and supportive, and they know that in the school of 1,500 that they're going to have that support, right? So, you'll hear this mission and our vision come through what these three incredible students spoke about. Our mission is to provide an inclusive community to help students realize their passions, their potential, and responsibilities as kind and educated individuals and citizens of the future. And our vision in order to do that is that we prepare students for success in a rapidly changing world. These three students spoke about not only the academics, but the social connections, the positivity, the leadership, and the growth that they saw over those 4 years. We're proud of that work, and therefore, yes, I am here presenting to you. But I'm going to do what Noah did, and he kind of stole my thunder a little bit. Boulder Valley is an incredible school district with incredible schools across the board. If you're looking for strong programs, you're going to find strong programs in every single one of the schools. If you're saying, oh, which school is going to prepare me best to get to my next step, I would argue that every school would do that, because what you put into it is what you get out of it. I'm just particularly proud of the work we do for kids instructionally, structurally, systematically, and programmatically to ensure that that happens, right? So it really comes down to, where do you see yourself? What's easy? What is connected? And how does that fit feel? And that same conversation you need to be thinking about when you graduate from high school, because it's not necessarily the name that gets you there, it's what you put into it and what you feel success in as being part of. And I tell my own kids that. I have a senior, I have a sophomore that attends here. He sat here 2 years ago up in that section, hearing his dad talk, and he didn't pick to come to Monarch because his dad was the principal, because how weird is that sometimes? He came because he saw himself fitting in and growing and succeeding with the programs that we have. And so just a little bit about that. He's a musician, he's a drummer in the jazz band, so he's performing tomorrow night. He plays soccer, he plays football, and he plays basketball. And he's part of some new programs. And he does that because he has, and we've structured the ability for kids to get involved. And we're proud of that. All right, so let's get into some things. Our academic sessions up in the library will expand upon this. I don't want to read the whole slide to you. You can do that. But I want to highlight some components. One, we're proud of what we do because we're excellent at what we do, and that's been recognized across not only the state of Colorado, but also nationally. Some of those reports, I think, are a little they don't tell the whole picture. And I say that because some of those reports that we have are dependent upon the number of students in AP or taking AP tests. And yes, we have more students taking AP classes here by percentage than any other high school. And yes, they score really well on those tests because we build students to that success. But we also have a huge number of students participating in concurrent enrollment classes. You heard Noah talk about this, where they're getting college credit now just by sitting in a high school class doing their good work. That's pretty amazing. As a parent, that's awesome. We have college credit programs. You could read those there. And because of that, our kids save for, by the time they graduate, their students and those parents on average as a whole school save around $500,000 in tuition because of the credits they bring in their following year. That's pretty phenomenal. Just by taking normal classes here, you're typically your junior and senior year, you're earning college credit, you're earning high school credits across the board in grades, and it all works in the course of the regular day. You heard us talk about athletics and activities. We have over 60 student clubs. I mean, we had new ones start this year, and we'll have new ones next year. We have our athletic programs that really focus not only in quality and excellence, but inclusivity and participation. We do have to, because the number of students that we have go out for athletics, have to say sorry, but you didn't make the team. But we work really hard to ensure we get to say, hey, guess what? You made the team, and now you're representing Monarch across your chest and on your back. Let's go out and do our thing. Let's grow and be successful. That's pretty awesome. To the point that we have 85% of our student body, of that 1525, is involved with either one sport, one club, or one activity. And as you, as our incoming freshmen, will hear, and parents, you'll hear me say this if you're a parent of us next year, my expectation is that our students get involved in either one club, one sport, or one activity. Because getting involved matters, and it makes you a better student and a better individual. Our fine and performing arts. If you got here a little early, you heard our jazz band. If you came in right at the start, you heard our choir. And again, if you stay for session one, you'll hear about our orchestra program as well as our choir and our band. But we also have a theater program. This fall, we put on a fall play, and then we just got done with A Christmas Carol. And Karen didn't talk about this, but he actually was in the play for the first time, doing his thing, dancing on the stage, and I was like, that's awesome, with him and 7 other football players that had never performed before. And so we really want kids to get involved. And so we have students that are going to go on in college to be performers in theater or in music. And we have others that just say, I want to be involved and have this experience for the first time because I've always wanted to do it. And so we give them that opportunity to do that too. And our artists show at local galleries. You'll see their art around the school as you walk tonight. And we have students that are going all the way to take AP Studio next year as art. And they go into art schools and design schools. Or sometimes they just go right out and get a job as well, being a graphic designer because of the skills of which they have. It's pretty awesome. If you're into career and technical education, that encompasses a whole bunch. You've heard us talk about the High School of Business. We have a robust engineering lab. You'll be able to see and talk to our teacher, Mr. Salter, tonight. And we have a strong robotics program that is a regional, state, and sometimes national powerhouse. We have a culinary arts program. We have teacher cadets for kids that want to become an educator, which is awesome. I might be able to hire you in several years. We have a computer science program that really works to develop skills in a whole host of different areas. And then our broadcast journalism program is an award-winning program in the state of Colorado, and we just had a group of students win a national award. They're national champions in a broadcast video production that they created, along with 3 other groups of students. 1 got 5th and 2 got honorable mentions. But we also swept the top places for yearbook, student journalism, and I'm forgetting one section. But they're out there tonight too. You'll be able to interact with our journalism program. So we create opportunities for students to get involved and follow their interest and passion in state-of-the-art areas. We're one of only 3 high schools that have a green screen that has curved walls, so it all goes away, with a sound lab for podcasts. We have our business lab up there in the left corner is focused on group projects, and a lot of our instruction is focused on that because we know that that's the way people work and learn best. So, why Monarch? Let's talk about our staff. So we talked a lot about systems, or I've talked a lot about systems and structures and opportunities, but that doesn't happen with without a staff that is second to none. They are great. We partner well. We grow and push each other, and I'm a better leader because of them, and I would like to say that they're better teachers because of me, and together we make an incredible school. So, over 90% of our staff, we have around 80 teachers, and over 90% of them hold at least a master's degree. We have 4 doctors with 5 more in the works. We have multiple teachers that have national board certifications, and our focus as a school is on instruction. Because we know the quality of teacher in front of students is the #1 indicator for student success, and we know as student engagement increases, their learning increases, their enjoyment increases, their focus increases, and their connectivity to the school increases. So our classrooms are focused on opportunities for students to collaborate, share ideas, and build knowledge together. And we focus upon that and train and work together upon that. Because of that, we have a supportive community. The parents that know me know I'm pretty transparent. I speak from the place of truth about what works here, what's going super well, and what are our opportunities for improvement. And that's the way I look at it, because we're always in the cycle of improvement. And so we have an active school accountability committee meeting, or committee. We have an active Monarch booster club. We have band boosters. We have music boosters. We have athletic boosters specifically, but the Monarch boosters is an all-inclusive group that supports every program at Monarch High School. We have parent volunteers when we could. You know, we're kind of getting back into that ability. In our library and post-grad center, and then we have in our CTE programs, we need parent advisory boards that give us input from the industry's perspective about what we could be doing better to prepare our students not only for success now, but success later. And they advise us on projects and programs and opportunities for internships. So if you're a parent and you're here, know that you will hear from me weekly. I try to hit most Fridays. Sometimes it comes on Sunday evening. But that is a weekly newsletter. Sometimes it's with my voice, and many parents are like, I know your voice because I hear you every week. And I'm like, that's great. Thanks for listening. And sometimes I'll call parents, and I'm like, hello, this is Mr. Anderson, principal of Monarch High School, and there's a pause because they're waiting to see if it's the recording or if it's really me. And so I know that because I believe in the communication, because I know as a parent myself, communication matters and transparency matters, because that creates a strong community. All right, so like I already talked about, our focus is on teaching and learning in our classrooms, but also student relationships, connectivity, and supports. Resources available. Our library is one of the coolest places to hang out in all the school. We track the number of library visits throughout the course of the year, and I think Ms. Garish has told me pretty consistently, minus the pandemic year, that we have roughly 80,000 student visits to the library in the course of one academic year. That is pretty impressive when you think our school only has 1,500 or 1,550 students in it. That is a student coming in and then leaving. 80,000 visits in the course of one academic year. Kids go there to hang out, they study, they meet up with friends, they participate in clubs and activities that are anchored out of our library. We target student supports. We have an active college and career center. Our counselors are out in classrooms giving presentations about career interests, college planning, how to prepare now through course selection. They do that on a regular basis starting in the 9th grade year. So we want every kid to see their success, realize their success, and plan for their success. And then, like I talked about, our focus on outreach to our parent community and business community. We're working on formal partnerships to support our programs. You'll hear about those programs, I think, in the next slide or two. And so I'll wait to talk about what those partnerships are until then. Hey, it's this one. So, here at Monarch, we start programs based on student interest that we know is important for not only their interests now, but also what career industry needs. So, over the course of the past 4 years, including this coming year, we have started specific programs or classes to support student interests. The top one, Popular Music and Recording Techniques, will start next year with Ms. Klutz offering that class, and we hope it will run. That's basically video recording, music recording, sound recording, and we'll use this space and our new soundboard up in the sound lab up there to record music and produce music and understand how that works. We've started, or will be starting this coming semester actually, January, a Genius Bar, Monarch High School's Geek Squad, where they're going to go out and learn how to repair computers and be the first line of defense when the student says, my Chromebook's not working anymore. And they will be doing that under the direction of the teacher with the goal that after a few years they're going to get certified in order to be a computer technician, be able to take that in hand and go get a job someplace as well. So that's going to be super cool. We started the aviation and aeronautics program this year, and that program has a 4-year track record. As a senior, the goal is that they would have an internship with either the Colorado Regional Airport in Brookfield or the Sierra Nevada Corporation, where they're building spaceships over the Colorado Tech Center. And by the second year, the students involved with that program are going to get their unmanned aerial flight pilot's license through the FAA, and they're going to be able to go out and get jobs with agriculture, commercial industries for building, government, and so on and so forth as a drone pilot. That's pretty awesome. My son's in part of that program, and they are having a blast, and they're going to start drone soccer, which is kind of like fancy Quidditch with drones. Here comes second semester. We've started cybersecurity. We are the first school to offer it, and I think there's one other school that's offering cybersecurity now. But that's built in a sandbox with an internal network where students learn how to protect and solve challenges that come into the network as students try to hack in, and those other students try to prevent them from coming in. Our computer science teachers are here tonight. You can talk to them and learn more about that. And then we've started AVID as well. So AVID is philosophy, a way of action, and a way of systems that the school thinks about. Specifically, we use this to support students through instruction and the belief that we have that every single student can and will learn under the right conditions and supports. And like I talked about earlier, we're starting APR Studio, and we're constantly revising and thinking. And I think we're also going to start an introduction to health occupations with the goal that that will build into physical therapy, physical training as a pre-med with a partnership to a Vista hospital, because they're just right down the road from us. So, always thinking, always doing, which is pretty awesome. So, what do students need? So students, this is to you and also to parents out there, that this talks about what we believe you need in order to be college and career ready, as well as what we're doing to ensure that. First, kids need to know and be part of a rigorous academic preparation program. We offer that in spades here at Monarch, but we also encourage students to create balance. Expectation, at least every single student takes at least one advanced class in an area of passion. But we also want you to be balanced by getting involved with other things. So don't crush yourself your freshman year, build your resume over time, but keep challenging yourself because that grows those skills. But we're also going to teach you the skills in order to be successful. How to take notes, how to read critically, how to study, how to engage and be organized, because parents, if your kids are anything like mine, I've seen binders and backpacks that look like something just went off and papers are all over the place. And so we teach how to be somewhat organized and be prepared so we're not missing things and that we're being our best selves moving forward. Opportunity knowledge. Students make choices, and we encourage them to make choices that support their interests and long-term goals. So what are your passion areas? Take that class. What are your interest areas? Explore that class. What do you need to do foundationally to be prepared across the board? Take these classes. And we provide that opportunity for our students. And then finally, we believe our students need their own agency. What I mean by that is that we work to have students believe in themselves, gain those skills, and activate their own potential through their relationship with teachers, their belief in themselves, their own determination and their grit to make sure that they work hard, be kind, and do their best. And I say that to our kids every year. The first thing I say to them, their 9th grade only day in the gym, is I have 3 expectations for you. I need you to work hard, I need you to be kind, and I need you to do your best. If you do those 3 things every single day, great things are going to happen for you every single day. And that is what we do, and the expectation in our hallways around inclusivity, hard work, determination, and engagement. Now, as a staff, how do we support that? We support that by that we insist on rigor. Now, rigor does not mean more work. It's not like all of a sudden we're going to pile you with 4 hours of homework, though that might happen depending on the load of classes you take at some point. It's how you think about that. Cognitively engaging, what we ask you to do with the work, what we ask you to think about, problem solve around, and the structures we put in place to engage you as learners to think critically about the topics that we're studying. So, we provide those learning experiences that challenge you. We also break down barriers. We are champions for equity and access across the board, regardless of who you are, your background, your ability level, and so on and so forth. We provide inclusive classrooms. We provide opportunities for students to take ownership, and we have done that and have been promoted and celebrated for that work. You might have read a couple of years ago, if you haven't, you can Google it, about Monarch High School's Mohai Perk, a student-run coffee shop that's based out of our student center, run by our intensive learning center students that meet their social, communication, and math skills, and it's awesome. Align our work. Our teachers work on what we want students to learn, how are we going to measure that, and how are we going to get them to learn it, so that's instruction and assessment. And then when we teach, or what we teach, so that we can progress students down a path. It's not necessarily a one-year and done thing. And as parents, you need to know this. Our classes build skills on a 2-year to a 4-year cycle, depending on the length of those classes. So LA9 builds into LA10, which builds into either LA11 or AP Lang, and which builds into SLCC or AP Lit. And so the same happens with math, and the same happens with science. Concepts are cross-cutting. We make sure that they're successful in those, and they build and spiral throughout the 4 years. And then we advocate for students. We expect students to be their best selves, and we expect them to challenge themselves, and when they don't, we support them. When they need our support, we engage in that, what you need in order to be your best self, and then we inspire them to reach for the things that they think is untenable or unreachable at that time. All right, so where do our graduates go? This is a few, this is a lot. And our kids go more places than this. I just got a letter of recommendation request from a graduate from last year, 2021, who wants to go study at the University of Toulouse, or Toulouse in Toulouse, France. He's like, hey, Anderson, I want to go study in France. Can you write me a letter of recommendation? I'm like, sure, Timo, what do you want me to say? And he just laid it all out. I'm like, I got you, buddy, because I know Timo personally from his role here at Monarch High School and my engagement with him. But I can guarantee you, if you see a school that's not up there, we have a student that has attended in the 21 years that Monarch High School has been doing their thing, right? So we prepare students for their journey and inspire them to get where they want to get to. So, what are our pride points? I would say that we offer programs that are comparable to, if not exceed, any other program at any other school. No, we do not offer IB. Yes, we offer engineering classes that are same as Centaurus, right? Yes, we offer programs here that are unique and only found at Monarch High School. And yes, we are proud of the work that we do in our regular classrooms and our advanced classrooms, because every student deserves our best. So we provide a 360 experience: academics, activities, extracurriculars, and relationships. We care about our kids, we care about our community. We are nationally recognized for college readiness. We received a top STEM school award for our work in science and technology and engineering and mathematics recently. We are inclusive of our students. We let students be themselves, let them grow as people, and get them engaged in our school and feel success and pride in what their work is. And we prepare all students for their journey beyond Monarch. So, great spirit, Monarch family, Monarch vision, Monarch mission, all connects to create an environment that we think is truly special. And I like to say we're the best kept secret in Boulder Valley, because we just do our work, we do it quietly, we do it confidently, we move forward with excellence in mind as the expectation of excellence. And it shows in our results. So, time frame. Here's some nitty gritty. I think you got some information in your packet about this. Open enrollment window closes on January 5th at 4 o'clock. So, notifications are sent after that date, usually at the end of January via email. It's always really confusing, so make sure you read the information carefully. And because I constantly always hear like, oh, I didn't know I had to do something, or I didn't do anything, so I didn't think I needed to. So please read that email carefully. And then you can find more information about this in your program of which you have, or your packet of which you have. Tonight, again, like I said at the outset, we have 3 sessions in our library focused on our academic programs and what those look like and the opportunities provided to our students. We have academic support, Q&A, in our post-grad center. So if you are a young person that's supported with an IEP or a 504 or an ALT plan, or if you just have questions about our intervention supports or our ELD program for emerging bilinguals, I encourage you to stop by there and interact and talk to our counselors, Ms. Hubbard, and some teachers as well. Athletics are in the main gym, so you can hear from Mr. Gustafson. And then our Performing Arts and Drama Department, auditorium here, band first, session 1, theater session 2. And then all departments and parent organizations, if they're here tonight, are in the main hallway. And you basically can just walk and talk and interact and ask your questions. There's nothing upstairs, though I would encourage you to go upstairs because upstairs looks different than downstairs. We have atriums, it's much more open, it's just a different environment. So talk to teachers, but then you can head upstairs as well if you would so like. The whole school is open for you. And then I always close with this. You heard me talk a lot about the individual journey, the individual path for students. We support every kid. We expect their advancement and achievement and their graduation and their plan for greater things. And therefore, each kid at Monarch High School is an individual balloon that grows, gets ready, and when they launch, they take their own path, but it's all going up. And that's the way we visualize our kids and the work that we do at Monarch. So thank you for coming tonight. It is truly awesome to see you in person. I appreciate all of you for being here and thinking about Monarch High School. Yes, I am biased, but I'm also confident, but I'm also proud of the school district and the work we're doing for all students at all schools. And I just think Monarch High School does a great job with it all. So that's the end of my time. I will hang out here if you have individual questions, or if you just want to come say hi, fist bump, introduce yourself, that's cool. But other than that, you can head on out through those doors and then turn left or turn right if you want to go down to the gym for the athletic component. Turn left for the library, the curriculum fair, interacting with our teachers. I wish you a lovely evening. Thank you for being here, and Sko Yokes.